About a month ago, I posted a video showing off some ideas and concepts for a hypothetical Pokemon region based off Latino culture. In that video, I arguably showed some of the most important Pokemon in the entire region, the starters. With the help of you guys in my comment section, I actually managed to refine those said ideas and make them even stronger than they already were. So, I'm here to finally show you guys the fire starters for my hypothetical Pokemon region. What makes a Pokemon a Pokemon? What separates artists like Ken Sugimori and Kenji Watanabe? Well, Ken Sugimori once said, "Luxray would be even cooler if its head was a bit smaller and its eyes narrower. If a Pokemon seems too cool, I might try to give it a little something to make it uncool. Because, in short, if a Pokemon is too cool, it won't make a connection with the player." With that being said, I want to show you guys my new starter. Now, for the first evolution, I really wanted to change the proportions. Bakito, his proportions felt a little too long in the first rendition, so for this rendition, I wanted to change it up and make it more stubbier to fit more of that little childish kinda kid look. Every Pokemon looks like they can be your friend, so I wanted to really capture that type of element into this design. Instead of giving him a visible mouth, I wanted to do the Hello Kitty thing where he communicated more with his body and his actions. I also changed the collar that he had. Originally, his collar was a little bit more on the quote-unquote fiery fantasy aspect, but I decided to change it for more of a normal collar that slowly through the evolution he'll grow out of and no longer use. Now, enough of my complaining. Let's hear about some of your complaining. One criticism that I got was that the Pokemon, or at least the designs, weren't in the Pokemon style. They were mostly in my type of style. I tried my hardest mimicking it in the first video, but it just didn't look like the Pokemon style, which I totally get. So I went out and I finally learned how to render in the Pokemon style. So here you go, Bakito. Originally, I went through multiple renditions of him. Originally, the legs were longer than normal, he didn't look as stubby, his head was longer, or bigger I should say. I just didn't really like it, so I rendered it one more time, and I finally got what I wanted. Here's the other renditions, and here's the final rendition. Tell me what you guys think. I didn't really change much for the first evolution, but the next evolution does change quite a bit. Bakito, the tiny cow Pokemon. It is said that Bakitos are known for their blissful ignorance and its laid-back nature, making it harder for trainers to actually give it the motivation to train, let alone move. Bakitos won't move unless it's for the sake of sweets or even a simple snack. First, I'm gonna say I did keep a lot of things from the original design into this one, because I really did like the way how I mostly drew him. I just needed to fix the rendering and a little bit of the patterns around his eyes. So that's all I basically changed for this. There wasn't much, except for around his waist. In the normal rendition, I gave him a belt, which originally I was like, okay, a belt will work. But I didn't like the way how it looked. I feel like when Pokemon use like their own body parts as things, kind of like how Greninja uses his tongue as a scarf, feels much more in the realm of Pokemon than just straight up giving it, I don't know, a scarf for Greninja, or giving, in my case, Scorch a belt and not actually making it use one of its body parts. So instead, I wrapped the tail around his waist to mimic more of a belt, and also I got the idea from Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball, the Saiyans wrap their tail around their waist, so I felt like it would be kind of appropriate to do the same with my design, because I think it would be fun to at least have incorporated his body parts into the design more than just having the tail move around and stick out. It can still retract and unwrap, but it's much battle ready in my opinion if its belt is wrapped around his waist, and it's harder to like take advantage if a Pokemon was to grab it or something like that. I felt like this was much more clearer, give it a better motif instead of just having a normal belt and, I don't know, a Speedo. So tell me, what do you think? I really just updated the rendering and changed the belt / tail, and that's it. And also a bit of the face patterns around his eyes. So tell me, what do you guys think? Is this a better design, better motif, I guess? Here's the other renditions I did for him, and you tell me, what do you prefer? Personally, I really like the new design, but you let me know in the comments. Scorch, the punching cow Pokemon. Scorchers are known for fighting with each other over the simplest things. It can be as simple as another Pokemon taking their sleeping spot. They will immediately start with a punch, then trying to talk things out. Now, when it came to the Firestarter, the final evolution of the Firestarter, I really didn't know what I wanted. I had a lot of criticism, and I didn't know exactly which way to go. So I was like, pull there, pull over there. So I decided to draw 2 of them. Another criticism that I got, other than, well, Lunchables, was to make it darker. The color scheme felt a little too light and didn't really convey the dark typing that I wanted, so that's what I decided to do. Because in my original design, he looked a lot more like a fighting type than a dark type, so I wanted to change that up and show more of his dark type in this one. So I tried my hardest and I gave him much more of a darker color scheme, and well, I got 2 different results. The one that you're seeing up on screen, I really liked a lot, but at the same time, I didn't like it. There were some aspects that I liked, but other aspects that I didn't. I tried making the fur on his back more of like a cape, but it just looked like a big porcupine, so I was like, never mind. So I decided to redraw this, and this is just the first pass that I gave. So let me know in the comments, what do you think? I'm still unsure about this design. I feel like I can add some more gold motifs since now that he doesn't have the, well, bell on his neck. I feel like I can add some more golden motifs to his design. I really like this comment. It pointed out that I could add some like golden motifs to the face, mostly around in the mask, so I felt like it was more appropriate that I should do that instead. I tried doing it in the original design with more fiery aspects, quote unquote fiery aspects, but it didn't really look correct to me. It still doesn't look right in this design, but it looks much better in my opinion because I separated them and I made it more, I guess, stand out, more unique than the first rendition. So that's what I did, but what do you guys think? I had so many pet peeves with the first rendition that I tried changing as many of them as possible. Like the pants. In the original design, I just straight up gave him a normal ass Speedo, which feels a little bit weird because he's supposed to be a Pokemon and I feel like that he wouldn't really be wearing that out in the wild. So I decided to change it up for the pattern, but I made it more short-like. Now for the actual design that I'm planning on using, I really like this one more. I like the motifs that I had on the first one a lot, but I felt like the pose was a little awkward and he looked more chunky and more defensive than attacking, which I wanted him to look more like he could be somewhat agile but not too agile, because most luchadors are pretty agile. They're not really like too buff to the point where they can't really move fast, but they're like right in the middle where they could be buff and, you know, just attack all the time and then not be as like bulky and buff like The Rock, let's say. I was actually so unsure about this entire dilemma that I had picking between each one of those 2 designs, to the point that I actually went and asked some of my friends for some feedback. I got a lot of really good feedback, but one that I really liked was from my friend Dairy Panda. I totally recommend that you go check out his YouTube channel. Fire content right there. Originally, he suggested that I added more brown to his shoulders. It felt like a little too overpowering with all the tan going on, and it didn't feel like a nice balance between the brown and the tan. So he was kind enough to provide this little overpaint, and I really want to appreciate everything that he did, because this helped me a lot, and I feel like it ties the design a little bit much better and doesn't make it look a little bit weird. Also, another thing, do you like the belt? Like, I know it's a little bit weird to just ask, do you like the belt? But I changed it from all fiery to, you know, just normal, and then exploding into flames. But I'm not too sure about it. I think I like having it all, well, burning, not just the tip of the tail. So I'm still playing around with that idea as well, but let me know in the comments as well. I have a lot of questions and a lot of opinions that I personally have about my designs, and I know you guys do too. So here's all the designs all laid out. You tell me, what do you think? The differences vary from one another, but let me know. I really like a lot of them. Personally, I like these 2, but that's just me. You let me know in the comments. Luchable, the luchador Pokemon. Now evolved as a Luchable, Luchables tend to be much more flashy when fighting, making some of their battles really enjoyable. It is said that for hundreds of years now, Luchables and Hawluchas have been battling it out for honor and pride. And there you have it, the final designs. Here's my fire starters. There you go. Everything is subject to change. I'm willing to change anything. So leave some comments telling me what I could do better, some criticism, you know, like last time. Also, give criticism and focus everything that you can on just the water starter this time. I kind of forgot to mention that I wanted to get all the criticism for the fire starter last video, but if you can do it for this video, the water starter, muchos thank yous. I appreciate it. Here you go. Tell me what you think I could do. I could change some things, give some more jersey motifs since he is a soccer player. Let me know. Remember, he's a water type, so try keeping it in that realm. But yeah, thank you. Bye now. Bye.